Immigration, immigration, immigration. I'm looking at the news. I'm looking at social media. I'm looking at all these different platforms, and all I see is the impact of immigration from the Trump administration and his plans on just doing a mass deportation, right? So today, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm on the fence when it comes to immigration. There are some things that I agree about immigration, and there are some things that I don't agree about how he's approaching immigration. Now, if you want to deport some people that are here illegally, I'm not 100% against that, but at the same time, there's a humane and honorable way, in my opinion, to go about the situation to approach is yeah to approach immigration. There's a more humane way to do it. I don't think the MAGA Make America Great Again people, the Trump people, are going about it right. I think that there's definitely racism involved in the situation from that group. We just saw Elon Musk throw up a Hitler sign, right? So we're seeing these things with our own eyes. I don't know why people are trying to act like, race doesn't play a factor in the Trump administration. Uh, and I don't see why people don't think that race doesn't play a factor in the way he's going about immigration. Where do I start? It's like I have some statistics. I done some research. You know, um, we're going to talk about it. It's definitely going to impact you, me, taxpayers, American citizens. It's going to affect everybody. This mass deportation, the approach, how he's going about getting it's not what he's doing, it's how he's going about doing it. You know what I mean? Like separating families, and there's people who've been here for 30, 40 years who've had children, who've been taxpayers, law abiding citizens. They're not all criminals like Fox News would like to try to make you think. I be checking Fox News out. They're like criminals, evil, bad, wicked criminals criminal immigrants. Like everybody that's an immigrant is a criminal. When if you do the research, you'll see that criminals commit the least crimes. It's American citizens who create more, who do more crimes than the immigrants. You know what I mean? So it's just backwards. Everything is backwards to me in this world right now. The people that people call heroes are actually villains, and the people that you think is a villain is actually a hero or a good person, or so to speak. Or is that just me? I could be crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be crazy though, but that's what I see. It seems like things are backwards, twisted, right? So this immigration thing, like me being from California, I can remember the during the Bush administration. Bush, him and his dad, but I'm talking about the son Bush, the Bush the second, right? He did open up the borders. The Republicans opened up the borders and let all kind of immigrants come in because for cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of corporations and companies and job creators made billions of dollars off the backs of immigrants. And I feel like they let it get too far too fast. They let too many people in. They turned their eyes away from the border. They turned their backs on it and just let it be, right? Because they know people would work for $5 an hour. So for years and years in California, they let those borders open and let people just flood in. And I think the chickens are coming home to roost now. I feel like once they start having children and having a lot of kids and things like that, it affected the welfare system. It affected a lot of different things in California. That's why people it's a mass exodus out of California because it's overcrowded due to the borders, due to the borders being opened for so many years by Democrats and Republicans. This is not a Democrat and a Republican thing. It's just the Republicans want to see the way they want to go about it is more extreme, right? Than the Democrats, So I don't get caught up into the Republican Democrat thing because the right wing and the left wing is connected to the same bird, right? You know, it's the eagle, right? America represents the eagle. And the eagle has a left wing and a right wing. But when ultimately it's connected to the same bird. So we dealing with the same group of people. They just have a different way of going about how they want to run stuff and control stuff and things of that nature. So I don't get caught up into the Democrat Republican thing because it's really just a distraction. If you dig deeper, it's really just a distraction. These people are really not against each other. They're with each other. They're just arguing about how to control. One group of people want to control the country one way, and another group of people want to control the country a different way. Right? So some people want to use immigrants like they've been using them for cheap labor and to help their companies grow and things of that nature. And then there's other group of people who feel like these immigrants are taking American jobs. They're, you know, committing crimes. They're committing rape. The whole Trump campaign was based off of wicked, evil immigrants eating dogs and cats, and they're coming into your neighborhoods and taking he just spooked everybody out, right? Spooked everybody out, right? So that's their way of, it's just a back and forth thing. I always tell people that the Civil War never really ended. It's just the Confederates wanted to physically slave and keep people enslaved, and the North wanted to mentally keep people enslaved, and the North won. So now we're mental slaves, right? Just because you can get in your car and drive off and go wherever you want to go, or walk wherever you want to walk, that doesn't necessarily mean you're free. It's to me, my personal opinion is it's a false sense of freedom. So as far as the immigrants go, people have let the immigration thing get carried away, get too far. They came over here and, I don't have a problem with immigrants, to be all the way honest, because to be honest, these people are indigenous to this land, you know, and it's kind of awkward being a black person in this country because we didn't ask to be here. Yes, some of us was here before slavery. That's a whole nother thing that we could talk about. Like that's a whole nother video, right? Some black people were here before slavery. Some melanated people who look like me was here before Christopher Columbus and before, the Inquisitions and things of that nature. But there were some who were brought here through the slave ship, right? So it's kind of weird for the position that we are in because it's like our ancestors fought and died and bled to build this country for free. We were forced immigrants, right? We were forced to migrate here through slavery, you know. So, my heart is with the immigrants, to be honest. Like, yes, I'm an American citizen, but at the same time, my heart goes out to the people who's getting taken away from their families, who's getting deported. Everybody's not criminals. All of these people being deported are not criminals. They're law abiding people, and I don't want to call them aliens because the word alien makes it seem like they're not human like you are, like we are, you know. So it's kind of a propaganda thing going on. I'm looking at Fox News calls them aliens, wicked, crazy criminals. He's deporting all criminals. That's just a way to make themselves feel better for doing people messed up like that. You're really messing people up and destroying families by deporting these people like that, And like I said, I'm not all the way against it, but at the same time, it's the way they're going about it. It's all messed up. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't, the people who's not committing crimes, who has businesses and families and things of that nature, I think that they should have a pathway to citizenship. You shouldn't run in their house. You shouldn't raid them, right? Okay, but people like the MS-13 dudes who are killing people and shooting people and robbing people and ruining lives, you know what I mean? Focus on them. There's plenty of them you can focus on. Don't run up in somebody's house that got a family and a wife and kids, and this man goes up and wakes up every morning and goes to work. Right? He goes to work. He don't bother nobody. He don't commit no crimes or anything of that nature, and you gonna raid him and deport him. Like, stop it. Like, yo, it's just crazy. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not feeling that. So I'm gonna go. I've got some statistics that I looked up that I want you guys to check out. Let me know what you think about it. Let's create a conversation about it. It's the statistics of mass deportation, right? So check this out really quick. Um, let's see here. About 11 million undocumented immigrants lived in the United States as of 2022, which is 3.3% of the country's overall population. That's a that's a good amount of people, right? Number 2, the one-time operation to deport these immigrants would cost at least 315 billion, not million, not thousands, billion, with the majority of that cost going towards building detention centers. So you would have to build concentration camps. We would, American taxpayers, right? You and me would have to pay that $315 billion. We would have to cough that up out of our pockets, right? To build detention centers for these people, right? Number 3, deporting 1 million immigrants per year would incur an annual cost of 88 billion. These is billions of dollars, family. Like, think about that. Where do you think they're gonna get the money from? Do you think Trump and Elon Musk gonna come out their personal bank accounts to pay that? Guess who they gonna make pay it? You. They gonna make you pay it, right? There's number 4. Mass deportations would reduce real gross domestic product, GDP, by as much as 7.4% by 2028, reduce the supply of workers for key industries, push prices up to 9.1% higher by 2028, and cost 44,000 US born workers their jobs for every half a million immigrants who are removed from the labor force. Now, family, does that really sound like progress? Does that sound like that's making America great again? Is that what making America great again consist of? It's more like making America hate again. It's making people hate us. Did you hear about what he did to the Colombia, right? This guy Trump, right? He's going to make the world hate us even worse than what they hate us. Right? That's my personal opinion. You can disagree, that's fine. I respect everyone's opinion, but in my opinion, mark my words, he's going to make the world hate us more than they already do. Because he's doing these things to people. He's cold-hearted, right? He only cares about the white Americans. Trump only cares about white Americans. Yeah, he'll sprinkle a little crumbs to some black people and let a few black people out of jail or do this or that. But that's just a smoke screen. Make America great again. From what I see, makes it great. Who is he making it great again for? It ain't me. He's not making America great again for me. A black man who has to worry every time I step out of the door wearing going to work, I have to worry about, is the police going to pull me over and shoot me unarmed and get away with it? How is that great for me? I have sons. How is that great for my sons? That I have to worry about the same thing happening to them. So anyway, as far as the immigration goes, the people that they're calling criminals, now there are some criminals that need to be deported. I agree with that. But everybody is not a criminal like you're trying to make it, So I'm not really agreeing with the approach of how they're going about, the immigration thing. I don't really agree with that. So I also came across, what is this? The NBC. Came across this NBC clip. Check it out with me. And, I'll commentate throughout it, but this kind of struck a nerve too, as far as how they're going about it. You know what I mean? This is what's happening in our country right now. So let's see what's going on.
The president, in his first week in office, is already enforcing an immigration crackdown that has instilled fear in some major cities. We have already seen a series of raids, and U.S. troops just arrived at the border this week. NBC's Priya Sridhar is there near the Texas-Mexico border with the very latest. Priya, good morning.
So he's bringing troops in. He's bringing troops in. He's almost making it like a war type of environment, right? Almost like if I was Mexico, I would take that kind of threatening in a way, like you're bringing troops to the border. Usually when a country brings troops and sets troops up at the border, that's kind of like a war posture. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's crazy. Let's check it out.
Good morning, Peter. That's right. The Pentagon has already begun deploying 1,500 active duty troops. That's 500 Marines and 1,000 soldiers to join the 2,500 National Guardsmen and Reserve forces who are already deployed along the border. The troops are going to be assisting in the construction of both permanent and temporary physical barriers to stop illegal crossings. There are also plans to use intelligence analysts to help with the monitoring and detection of migrants. Military aircraft are being used to assist the Department of Homeland Security in deportation.
It's weird how they say migrants, right? And I'm going to be real with y'all. Look, I do my history, right? How can you migrate somewhere that your people was indigenous to the land in the first place? These people ain't migrants. They're indigenous to this place. The real migrants are the Europeans, come on now, let's keep it real. These people aren't migrants. These people's ancestors been here before there was an America, before there was any of that, before there were, the Great Britain banished some of the criminals that called themselves, the Inquisition, that came over here, Christopher Columbus and them, before them. There were people here, whole civilizations here before any of that. So try to open your mouth up and fix your lips to say immigrants and aliens. That's what I don't agree with. Like, history doesn't agree with the media and how these people are talking about immigrants. You know, these people were here before there was an America, you know, for thousands of years. So how can they how can they be an immigrant to somewhere that they've been for thousands of, like, let's just keep it real. Like, I believe in keeping it real. That's just what it is. It is what it is, right? So I don't agree with that.
Flights of more than 5,000 detainees from both here in El Paso and also in San Diego. We've already seen a few planes land here in El Paso in the last few days carrying troops. And we also saw the first of those military aircraft take detainees back to Guatemala on Thursday. Now, we're also hearing that across the border from where I am over in Mexico, large tent-like structures are being enacted as that country prepares for a potential influx of Mexican nationals who could be deported from the United States back to Mexico in the coming days. Peter?
All right, Priya, the Trump administration also ramping up these roundups of undocumented immigrants. What more can you tell us about those?
That's right, Peter. We've heard about a number of ICE raids that have been conducted in American cities across the country, including...
Look at all those cities, family. Do you know how many families are being ruined right now? Do you know how many families are being ruined right now? Do you think that all these places you see in the United States, everybody that they're deporting are criminals? Even though that's what Fox News would want you to think, you know, the propaganda channel, even though that's what they would want you to think. Let's just be real. These are families. Some of these people are people who just get up and go to work every day, who don't commit crimes, who actually contribute to the economy of this country. But because Trump is so hell bent on satisfying the white supremacist element within the mega party, he has to, he has to go by. He made all kind of promises. He lied. He did all kind of promising. Now he has to fulfill those. He has to satisfy the monsters. He has to satisfy the beast that is within his cabinet, right? You know, but this is what everybody voted for. This is what people voted for. Even black people. We all voted for this, right? This is sad to me. I didn't vote for Kamala or Trump. I didn't vote. I didn't vote at all because I feel like us as black Americans, we need our own party. We don't need to be Democrat or Republicans. Neither one of them give a damn about us. Let's keep it real. They don't give a damn. The Democrats just use us to get their vote. And once they get their vote, once they get our vote, what do? Whatever they want to. It has nothing to do with us. Right? So I didn't vote for either. I don't have no stake in the fight. Right? I'm not going to vote for Trump, and I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't because I feel like it's the left and the right wing of the same bird, the same eagle. So, but look at these places, right? They're destroying people's family, right? The minute this dude get in office, he just on some white white supremacy. We all see it. He don't have no blacks or other people of any other race in his cabinet. That's not a coincidence. Like, let's not stop lying to ourselves. Like, this dude is a make America great again for white America. That's what that means. It was never great for black people. Let's keep it real. So let's go.
Buffalo, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and Atlanta. We know that ICE made 592 arrests yesterday. And just to put it into some context here, we know that back in September, ICE was making an average of 282 arrests per day. So this is a significant increase from what we were seeing just a few months ago. One of the most notable raids that occurred over the last few days took place in Newark, New Jersey, just yesterday at a restaurant where at least 3 people were detained. Local officials there slamming the Trump administration, saying that that raid was conducted without a warrant, and saying that at one point an American citizen who also happened
breaking the law because the Supreme Court told him you can break the law as long as you're president. You can do whatever you want to do. So now they don't even respect search warrants, right? They ran up in there, didn't have a search warrant. They don't care about none of that. This is the country that everybody voted for, where one man can just like do whatever he want to do, break the law. He got 34 felonies and he's the president. But let my black butt get one felony. And I couldn't get a job at McDonald's. Something's wrong. Something. I couldn't get a job at McDonald's if I had one felony or two felonies. I don't know. You get my point though, right? Like, stop it. Like, this shit's crazy. I'm sorry. Excuse my French, but it makes me mad. You know what I mean? That this is the country that everybody voted for because they think Trump gonna make things better for them. He don't give a damn about none of y'all. And Kamala Harris don't give a damn either. So this is not, I'm not arguing either or. I'm just telling y'all the truth. This is what it is.
To be a U.S. military veteran, was detained and asked for his identification. Peter?
Priya Sridhar on the ground near the Texas-Mexico border right now. Priya, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day.
Every time I see him, he reminds me of that Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all remember how Dave Chappelle reenacted him. That was funny as hell. I know that's off subject, but he just always reminds me of that. So yeah, that's basically how I feel, family. Like, let's create a conversation in the comments. Like and subscribe. Subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It helps support my channel. I have a lot more content that I have on the way. I really appreciate for those of you who did stick around long enough to get to the end of this with me. I really appreciate that. So I will be talking to you in the next week or so. I usually do one video a week because working and my schedule and things of that nature. And, you know, I'm a single father. I have a 3-year-old son. So, you know, I be trying to prioritize things, you know, to fit my schedule. So, like I said, like and subscribe. I'm going to get this going. We're going to keep going. We're going to make this happen. Peace. Love you.